Всем привет! Сегодня мы продолжим проходить задание архонтов. Основную сюжетку. Остановились мы... город или я не знаю что это. Караван либо какой-то. И отправляемся мы в пустыню. Ох. Хотя я отъехался могу, так что телепортируемся. Так. Не зря я телепорт подкрывал. Сейчас несколько часов выходил. Хотя можно было бы отрезать, в принципе, чтобы не заманывали. Чтобы не были с видеоблога. Хотя я так сейчас буду делать. Куда? Черный экран, не надо, не убивайте. Не убивайте. Куда? Звук есть.
Before us lies Aru Village, the safe haven of the desert folk.
Whoa, this landscape is really something else. What a cool...
Пошли.
Unless my memory fails me, we have barely spoken 2 words to each other before now at the Academia. Would you care to enlighten me as to when and how I invited the General Mahamatra's wrath?
Alhaitham, do not think you can escape my judgment just because you managed to escape.
Judgment? So that's how you'd characterize your actions here, is it? Or would...
Had I used my full strength, not even this traveler would have been able to stop me. Though styled like an assassination, I sought only to ensure that my target would be unable to flee or resist. Standard practice for the Matra.
Seemed to me more like your own personal...
who is that, Alhaitham?
Yes. General Mahamatra Sino, head of all the Matra at the Academia. He's a formidable...
You seem to have placed a lot of trust in Alhaitham, to the point of blocking an attack for him. If I were you, I'd never choose to side with him. I have been pursuing this scribe for a long time. I urge you, stand back and do not seek to defend him any longer. Otherwise, there will be consequences.
Has Alhaitham done something wrong? Hyman doesn't think he's as bad as you've made him out to be.
I won't waste my breath explaining things. Alhaitham, take it out. The divine knowledge capsule you're hiding on your person.
Very perceptive of you. Nothing escapes a...
Wait, the divine knowledge capsule? Didn't it fall into the Matra's hands in Port Ormos?
No wonder you speak with such confidence, Sino. But I must admit, I'm very curious. And why, as General Mahamatra of the Academia, are you all alone in the... As far as I'm aware, the other Matra have been speculating about your Have you been given a mission that's, let's say, morally... If I was the real target of your mission, what was stopping you from simply using your authority and resources to judge me within the walls of the Academia?
I should have known you'd be difficult to deal with.
You two? Ugh. What should we do, Traveler? Paimon feels like we can't trust either of them.
Так, мне нужно отучиться. Так, несколько минут, в принципе. Так,
Ahem. Well, look at you two, acting all
О,
tough and self-righteous
здорово.
over there.
Wait, Dia? Great! Finally, someone that we can trust! You gotta help us out here. Otherwise, these two are gonna start fighting again!
Yeah, sure looks that way. Two giants from the academia duking it out once and for all. Not something you get. Listen, I know you academic types love to fill up your big brains with self-righteous morality and lord your empty rules and virtues over each other. But how dare you bring your petty disputes into the safe haven of Aru Village? It seems like someone's gonna have to beat some sense into your thick skulls until you finally learn to respect these grounds. Hey, did either of you hear a word I just said?
Whoa, what's going on? The wind's so strong! Is this a sandstorm?
Another sandstorm? What's up with these recently?
Hey! All of you, over here, quickly! We have to take cover!
Someone's calling for us! Oh, this wind...
That sounded like Candace. Come on, you two. Jeez, are all of you academia folks such hard...
All right, stop yelling.
Так, чё у нас-то, блядь, черный экран, да? Ну давайте, черный экран.
Well, this is... Hey, wanna play sardines with three people who wanna tear each other limb from limb? Sure, the air is so thick and heavy. Paimon can hardly keep floating anymore.
My sincere apologies, everyone. This is the home of our village chief. I will have to ask you to make do with this small room until the sandstorm... Please, let me introduce myself. I am Candace, protector of Aru...
Our savior has come out. Nice to meet you, Candace. The name's Paimon. Thank you so much for helping.
There's no need to thank me. It's only right to help each other when the weather gets rough.
Wow, she's so gentle and caring, like a nice older sister.
All right. Now that we're all better acquainted, we should return. As a guardian charged with the responsibility to protect my fellow villagers from harm, I was observing your conflict from afar, even before the sandstorm started. And now that you have set foot within our village itself, it is all the more my responsibility to make absolutely sure. So please, have an honest and sincere conversation with one another, and put your hostile feelings. If anyone dares to start anything again while they are under this roof, I will not hesitate to send them out for some quality time with the creatures.
Oh, on second thought, Paimon may have mistook...
And that goes for you too, Miss Dia.
Yeah.
Do I make myself clear?
All right, we got it, Candace.
That's what I like to hear. So,
I was supposed to be a mediator, but I might have gotten a little too involved just now. Anyway,
Wait, that was you trying to be a...
I have nothing to hide. So there's no shame in While Al-Haytham wasn't wrong about the other Matra not knowing my whereabouts, it's not because I've been assigned a morally dubious mission. Rather, I've chosen to exile myself.
Huh?
A little while ago, I discovered that there was data missing in the Academia's project planning and development files. What little they did report, as General Mahamatra, I had the responsibility and authority to request an audit. However, to my surprise, I tried to investigate the issue myself before submitting a formal audit request. But I soon found that all leads. I began to realize that they were cautious of me from the... Unsurprisingly, the Grand Sage rejected my audit request as soon as the submission reached his desk. The power of the General Mahamatra is granted by the sages. You have no right to judge us.
So they really are up to...
I realized then that to the Grand Sage, the Matra are nothing more than tools for the sages to assert the vows that we took, the principles that we strive to uphold. They are meaningless to the academia of today. I believed it would be wise to flee the academia before the sages had a chance to take action against me. That I will never give up on this investigation. There's no need for someone else to give me power.
Sino seems to have the same goal as us. We're all investigating the sages. Plus, now that he's no longer the General Mahamatra, he somehow feels a lot less scary. Well, Sino, if that's your story, then why did you see Alhaitham as a...
When I was investigating the matter in the academia, I overheard a conversation between Alhaitham and the sages asked you to investigate a blonde-haired traveler. Do you dispute this, Alhaitham?
What?
Like many parts of the project, this assignment was undocumented. Now throw in your suspicious behavior with the Divine Knowledge Capsule, and I think we deserve an explanation.
Yes. I was indeed tasked with investigating...
Alhaitham?
After all, the promised reward was so great that hardly any scholar could have refused. The sage told me, once you've completed this...
A most enticing offer.
Unfortunately, those academics don't know me at all. Their words contained one key piece of information, namely that divine knowledge indeed exists. From my perspective, the sages are far from trustworthy. Think about it. Isn't it a little strange they're so willing to share divine knowledge with anyone, even as a reward? So, I began my own investigation following the lead of the Divine Knowledge Capsule. In the end, I realized my wisdom in committing to this. Had I been less guarded, I probably would have ended up like that Ain al-Ahmar mercenary, incapable of remaining sane for long enough to hold a conversation.
You mean that the sages originally planned to dispose of you, using one of those capsules that drive people insane?
I'd already given up on the assignment by then. I only told the academia I was waiting in Port Ormos for you to... So it came as quite a surprise when I encountered my erstwhile target while investigating the Divine Knowledge Capsule.
Criminals do love to talk about coincidences.
Even though I ran into the Traveler by chance, I had no intention of providing assistance to the academia. You were the ones who decided to follow me and strike up a conversation after I left that tavern.
That's true. Alhaitham helped us out at Caravan Rebat as well. Maybe he's telling the truth.
I'm willing to apologize, if that's worth anything to you. I took the Divine Knowledge Capsule behind your back because I judged its existence to be a significant risk. I felt that it would be best for no one to interact with it After all, curiosity...
You should be well aware, Scribe Alhaitham, that curiosity can also lead you to Answer me this. Did the sages share any information?
Have I not made myself clear? You and I are both distrusted by the academia. Do you really?
Fine. Although you haven't completely proven your innocence, I won't regard you as an...
As you wish.
Good. I'm glad to see you two clearing up. And now you, Dia. I believe it's your turn.
Что ты сделала?
Oh, sorry. Whatever the boys were talking about must have been so boring that I spaced. My situation is pretty straightforward. My employer, Dunyarzad of the Homayani family, is friends with the Traveler, and I had nothing going on, so I decided to return to Aru village for a visit. I was actually looking forward to a pretty exciting time getting back, but then I saw these two random guys in the middle of a pointless argument. It ticked me off, and things went downhill from there.
Is that all? Well, I will admit that definitely sounds like your style.
Она как быдло, блин.
In that case, welcome back,
Быдло.
Dia.
Её.
That's more like it. I missed you all so much, Candace.
Whoa! What was that sound?
No need to worry. Now that you're no longer at each other's throats, please make yourselves at home. I'll take a quick trip outside.
Creatures? In the sandstorm?
Fighting in a sandstorm is not for the faint-hearted. Anyone without extensive training in these conditions is at...
Yeah, just leave him to Candace. Don't worry, she's as tough as they come.
The winds died down. That means the sandstorm's over, right? Candace still isn't back yet, though. She'll wrap.
When you put it that way, even I'm starting to feel a little worried. All right, let's go. We've been here long.
А где? Где они? А, прогрузка? Да, нет, нет. Заходи. Мир делится, идите нафиг. Оленя жопа. Мне нравится загрузка. Звуки есть. Картинки нет. Логично. Сука. Давай здесь. Это звуки у меня, кажется. Если ли в игре были. По текстуре видно, что в игре были. Что, снова туда идем? Сборки на старом месте. Правильно. Блин, эти волки, ну вы издеваетесь. Я не хочу с ними драться.
Candace, you're still fighting?
Всё.
You've been out here dealing with these creatures the entire time?
Yes. They just keep coming in waves. I've lost count of how many I've defeated. Before I realized it, even the sandstorm had stopped.
Ah, here comes another wave!
Leave this round to us. I got interrupted earlier, but
It's been quite a while since I've seen the Flame Mane in action.
I'll be sure to put on a good show. Let's go!
А я-то почему я? Эти волки.
Right now, right here.
Ways to the wicked!
Куда? Сука. Да что ж ты все?
Emerge, right
Ну,
now,
вообще
right
ужасно
here.
где-то.
Here comes another wave! When are they ever gonna let up?
Нет.
Right now, right here. The creature stopped appearing. Was that the last of them?
What we fought just now was probably the aftermath of the sandstorm. So
Well fought, everyone. No injuries, I hope.
Староста. Виктор.
Huh? Who are you?
Ah, my apologies. I haven't had a chance to greet you yet. I had my hands full. I am the chief of Aru village. Everyone usually calls me Uncle Anpu.
Sir, I am also originally from the desert, but I have not been back for some time now. May I ask if said...
I can't say they've always been common, but recently the storms have become increasingly severe. Besides sandstorms, we also occasionally get earthquakes. According to an investigator who stayed in the village...
Another effect of So, Irminsul's withering causes withering zones in the forest, and sandstorms and earthquakes.
Everything in the natural world is inextricably connected to Irminsul. These regional...
Everyone in Aru Village needs to take good care of themselves. Speaking of which, why haven't I seen a single village keeper since I got here?
Village keeper? Who are they? Village guards like Candace?
Does your curiosity know no bounds? Village Keeper is how Aru Village refers to mad scholars. Exiled here, most of them are scholars who lost their sanity. After a period of training in the Academia believes that their crazed mutterings may have a negative effect on the psyches of other scholars. So, they're forcibly exiled to the desert. Though if you ask me, it's all a boatload of nonsense.
Alas, that's exactly what we've been trying to investigate. One by one, the village keeper, but no one in the village has ever seen them leave. If you're planning to stay around the village for the next few days...
I've had encounters with those people in the past. I'll see what I can do to...
The Matra are the ones responsible for their exile. Now that you're no longer with them, are you trying to alleviate your guilt and atone for your past sins?
Mock me if you will. But if you are guilty, I will eliminate you.
Oh, you're the former General Mahamatra. You must be an expert in these kinds of investigations. Thank you for your help.
Is it because you're reminded of Hypatia? Oh, these poor scholars. First they lose their sanity, now, but, is it really a good idea to tag along with Sino? You seem like you really don't trust him.
I'll be grateful for the assistance. No doubt you will do a better job than some of my former subordinates. Let's start by finding a spot to share what we know so far.
Ладно. Вниз или наверх, тут хрен поймешь. Наверх, наверное. Сейчас из-за песка будут текстуры хреновые. Все уже, наверное, нагружает что-то больше.
Although I've sent myself into exile, I'm still doing essentially the... Do you still have any questions for me before we start our investigation? One of my former subordinates told me that this title has its origins in a strange incident. The Academia has long exiled mad scholars to Aru Village. A mysterious phenomenon exists here. When mad scholars first arrive, they are as incoherent and deranged as before. But initially, the people of Aru Village greatly resented having to take in the mad scholars. Aru Village was struck by the strongest earthquake in living memory. Seeing buildings on the verge of collapse all around him, suddenly, he noticed a mad scholar crouching in a corner, caressing the ground with his hands. Despite the powerful tremors that ripped through the ground that night, all the houses remained upright. After that, the people of Aru Village treated the mad scholars with greater kindness. And
A soft green light? A mad scholar protecting Aru Village? What do you make of... Paimon thinks so too. Actually, Sino, do you know if any of the mad scholars continued to wear their Akasha terminals at...
in theory, they would continue wearing them so the Academia could still monitor their activities. With that
Oh, no wonder! Everything makes sense then! Add in the fact that they calmed down, it was probably
If you are able to draw a conclusion from this one story alone, then it appears you possess much more. So, what do you make of the story? Really? Lesser Lord...
What? You don't believe us? Lesser Lord Kusanali was definitely using the Akasha to give...
No, it's not so much that I don't believe you. I'm just struck by your reasoning. Lesser Lord Kusanali, the current Dendroarch, the Academia has always placed far greater importance on the late Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. They've more or less ignored Lesser Lord Kusanali. In addition, I've never heard any stories about Lesser Lord Kusanali and...
No way! Nahida definitely exists! She's a... How should Paimon put it? She's a good Archon who's kind and wise. Even if she says weird stuff sometimes.
I've spent many years interrogating criminals, so I can easily tell.
Good! Then you should know that we're telling the truth.
That look in your eyes. I've never seen that from... How can this be? To think, our Archon has been amongst us this entire...
All right, now it's our turn to put our skills to good use for the... But easier said than done. Especially since we don't have any leads.
Excuse me, are you here to help me find my grandpa?
Huh? Who are you?
By the sounds of it, a resident of this village.
My name is Isak. You'll help me find my grandpa, right?
Is your grandpa a mad scholar?
Hey, don't say that. Grandpa is just Grandpa. Why do you have to call him that?
The person you're referring to is not a local, yet you are. Why do you call him Grandpa?
Grandpa is just Grandpa. He's my family. I heard everything you said to the village chief. Please, you gotta take me with you. I want to find my grandpa.
Ah, so you're the one who was eavesdropping on us around the village. I was planning to go out and take care of whoever it was, but I had a vague feeling that they didn't...
Whoa. Hatham wasn't kidding about Matra having sharp senses. Sino, he's just a kid. All he wants is to...
Sorry, I was only listening in because I wanted to know where Grandpa went. Honest, if you don't believe me, you can...
All right. But first, let's confirm...
Погнали. Ну, я думал, долго будет грузиться. Потому что это прогрузка-то, не прогрузка, это пипец. Вроде там был, а прогрузка снова загружает эту хрень. Тем-то
Sino is super vigilant. Is this what all the Matra...
Ah, you're back already.
We just wanted to confirm something with you. Do you know a boy by the name of Isak?
I had a feeling he'd go looking for...
Huh? You knew this would happen?
Yes. Although he tried his best to stay hidden, I still noticed him eavesdropping outside the window. Isak's parents were both Aramite mercenaries who rarely returned to the village after finding employment in the city. He was rich. Unfortunately, it was only a few years before his grandpa passed away. Isak was still very young at the time. Later, an elderly mad scholar arrived at the village. Isak thought the scholar bore a striking resemblance to his grandfather. However, the scholar was unkempt in appearance and incoherent in speech. Although Isak referred to the man as his... One summer night, the oft mumbling and bumbling grandpa suddenly calmed down and seemed to become more lucid. So Grandpa walked up to Isak and patted him on the head. He even took Isak to the entrance of the village, where he patiently taught the boy the names of the stars, and accompanied Isak until he fell asleep. The next morning, Isak woke up and wanted to go find his grandpa again, only to realize his grandpa no longer recognized him. It's said that those who saw the scholar claimed he no longer appeared to be crazy, but appeared to be living in his own world. Isak was thrilled that his grandpa was able to find peace, and would follow him all the time, asking him things like, "Grandpa, want me?"
All this somehow just makes Paimon feel really sad.
Perhaps. Nearly everyone who lives in the desert has some form of hardship or regret. It's also my reason for fighting. I must continue to protect this land.
Maybe the people have always had a considerate god watching over them.
Huh? What did you say?
No, nothing. As long as Esau keeps his word and doesn't get in our way.
Perhaps you are more compassionate than I gave you credit for.
Да, телепорт. Телепорт ему. Тут я не понимаю, что с загрузкой. У меня все прогружено, у меня компьютер нормальный. Загрузка. Иди нах. Я буду грузить то, что у тебя уже прогружено давно. Ой, мобильный гейминг, блять. Ой, черный экран. Ну, давай. Я бы не виделся, если бы еще игра выйти.
Hey, Isak!
Oh, it's you guys.
We've cleared everything up. Let's go find your grandpa.
Really? Wow, thank you. Yeah.
All right. Let's ask the local
А, то есть закончено. То есть теперь другая глава, да? Глава 4. Пропавшие, хранители, деревни. Окей. Куда идем? С ним обязательно разговаривать так долго.
Excuse me, did you happen to see where the missing skull?
You mean the village keepers? Oh, when I was eating dinner the other day, I saw one of them by the side of the road, muttering away and eating mushrooms and tree roots.
Okay.
Anything else?
Куда дальше? Шили. Шилов, блин.
The scholars that have gone missing. Have you seen?
Those eyes. Those fierce eyes. You look like a real fighter.
Don't change the subject.
Right. You were asking about the mad scholars. I think it's been a few days since I last saw them. I usually go to bed pretty early, so I'm not... But honestly, I feel quite sympathetic towards them. Even though they act a little strange, they've helped me in the...
Do you also think Grandpa and the others...
Grandpa? Oh, hello there. It's little Isak. You mean that nice man who looks like your grandpa's long-lost twin, right? He was actually the one who protected my house. I saw it with my own eyes. He happened to be staying near my house. It still feels pretty surreal now that I think back on it. Did someone teach them how to do that? Well, whatever the case, I'll always be thankful to him and whoever taught him to look out for others. I'm pretty sure that if I ever went mad...
Gotcha. Thank you.
Кто он следующий?
Stay safe. Don't get hurt.
А, вижу. Джабари. Рифма, блядь. Рифму.
Sir, have you seen my grandpa recently? You know, the one who likes to sit and space out near the village entrance.
Oh, well, if it isn't Isak. Oh, the last time I saw him, he was spacing out by the road as usual. I went and asked him if he'd like any of the food I had prepared, despite my wife's protests. Like many people, she's really... And speaking of my wife, she's still always complaining about how I don't make...
Oh, thank you. Thank you for taking care of...
It was nothing. You're looking for him, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's no good. Well, once you found him, come by my... I've known you since you were very young. So as far as I'm concerned, You're...
Wow, what a nice guy.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Huh? Don't say anything for now. Isa, let's head over there. Stay cool.
Куда? До этого она не написала, да? Странно, ну ладно, куда вниз, вниз.
Join the Aramites. Embrace
Что там эти два парня, что ли? Что?
Listen, see if you can make out what they're saying.
Have you heard? The mighty Scarlet King, the sovereign of our faith, will soon.
Yes, of course I have. The Scarlet King is the one and only true ruler of this land. Still, you say he's coming back, but it sure doesn't feel like life's about to change around here.
Haven't you noticed? The village has been getting more deranged scholars than ever. Delavar was saying that many people also went insane just before the fall of the Scarlet King's civilization in ancient times. We don't quite know why. Isn't it a sign of the Scarlet King's power that all the mad scholars have disappeared? If you ask me, they must have been chosen as
Huh. Now that you say it, that does make some sense.
Exactly. Those city folks will get what's coming to them.
Now, repeat everything you've just said from the very beginning.
Huh?
Who are you? Where did you come?
My patience is running thin. You heard what I asked.
Yeah. Bro, this guy's something else. Just look at his eyes. One wrong move.
Let's not get on his bad side, okay? I am no...
Okay, good sir. What is it you would like to know?
Tell me about the Scarlet King's resurrection.
Well, I only know a few things from hearsay. I went for a drink the other day and heard others talking about a rumor that the madmen will disappear and that the Scarlet King will return to this land. I'm not...
Hey, go on.
It's true. It's all true, sir. We desert folk have had more than enough of those people at the academia. They keep sending us all their mad scholars and won't let us have a good Would you want to live like this if you were in our place? The radicals were even more thrilled than me when they heard the news. We're all praying for the Scarlet. Delavar also said that once the Scarlet King returns to our side, it's only a matter of time before we conquer the land on the
Is that so?
Seems like he still wants to know more. Keep...
Got it! At first, I told myself it was just the drink talking, but then all the mad scholars vanished without a trace. Just please don't beat me up just for mentioning these rumors. If I'm guilty, then everyone else around here is also guilty. I'm just...
The people here really like the Scarlet King, but dislike the Dendro Archon.
Where is this radical person you talked about?
I haven't run into him over the past few days, so he probably hasn't been around the village.
No, not at all. We wouldn't dare lie to you. He's...
Sounds like you're not too close with the radicals.
No, of course not. All we know are...
I have many ways to stop you from talking. And many others to stop you from sending... So you'd best just stay home and hope I don't hear of you trying to contact anybody. Don't do anything until I've gotten to the bottom of this. Try something foolish?
Yes, got it.
That scared Paimon half to death. Sino is pretty terrifying. He didn't try to reassure us at all. It's like he's used to hearing that. Oh, Paimon bets lots of people have told him that before.
I heard that.
Sorry.
It's part of being a Matra. The rumor we heard just now seems like a strong lead. But we need to check a few more places. Very well.
Isak!
I'm here.
Where's your grandpa's house?
Well, I can take you there.
Давай, показывай. Какой-то медленный. Вот тут что ли? Ну,
Grandpa, Oh, he likes to be alone. Sometimes he stares at the sky in a daze, and other times he
Пещере,
just
что ли?
pokes at the ground with his fingers.
Там
Every
пещера.
now and then, he yells out at the top of his lungs, so a lot of people are really scared of him. But he's a good person, really. I know he is. I swear, he's just like my real grandpa.
Там пещера же это что? Нет. А. Так где он живет почти?
This is where Grandpa usually stays.
There sure isn't much here.
No.
Incense? Please don't say it's the same. But are you okay? Are you getting dizzy?
There's a scent that you can sense, but I can't.
A certain traveler here once passed out from that smell. Thankfully, Tainari saved the day. And,
So, you know Tainari?
huh? You know him too? Are you...
Yes. Now that I concentrate.
Wait, surely Tainari didn't...
No. No need. Did you first encounter this scent at Tainari's house? In the forest. From a scholar.
Да. Блин, не то. Ты правда. Тут ничего не надо. Вроде ничего. Подожди, а где Тут следы видно, по-моему.
What are you looking for, Sino?
Here it is. Take a look right here.
Paimon doesn't...
Although the traces have been completely buried in the sand, there are footprints from the size and shape. They belong to an adult male. The scent is quite faint, but still extant.
But who would come looking for Grandpa?
We'd have to ask whoever lured him away with the incense.
Huh? So you can lure someone away with just a scent? Hey! What's wrong with liking good food? Everyone's...
Exactly. Most scholars are fond of incense, since the smell supposedly helps them. Even deep within the clutches of madness, they still yearn for their knowledge-seeking.
No.
So, someone's taking advantage of their weakness? Huh. Are the rumors really true? Could the disappearance of all the mad scholars have something to do with the
It's highly likely.
Please, you have to save my Grandpa. Grandpa's never done anything wrong.
Sounds like we'd better help get him back. Don't you worry, Isak. We won't let whoever took him get away.
Let's head to Aru Village and inform Candace and the others about what we learned here.
Ебать. Пешком идти, да? Нет, телепорт есть. Больше куда?
Right. The darker fabric definitely looks a lot better.
We're back, Candace. We've got a lot to tell you.
Ah, welcome back.
Sounds like everyone's friends are.
Oh, Dia's here too.
You bet. So, everything goes smoothly?
Reasonably.
Alhaitham didn't go with you?
We haven't seen him at all.
Huh. I saw him around the village entrance earlier and figured he was investigating with you.
Did you find out anything useful? I see. So someone used a kind of incense to leave the exiled scholars.
The resurrection of the Scarlet King? First I've heard of it. Far as I know, the kind of incense you just mentioned is only popular beyond the wall. Scholars are fond of it, but as you can see, there aren't many scholars still studying around these parts. No seller would be able to make not to mention making incense is a labor-intensive process. You won't see anybody in the desert with the It seems someone from beyond the wall must have been supporting this.
Makes sense.
So what should we do then? Do we go back?
If it was any other day, that would be your next logical step. But today, you've got me. Didn't you say that the villager got his news from the tavern? Well, I also like to drink at the tavern.
If Paimon remembers correctly, the leader of the radical...
Ah, yeah. Delavar, the scar-riddled bandit, Engur, the wide-eyed butcher, and Jabari, the duck-tailed bearded crow. These guys have one thing in common, and that's being broke. The rougher life gets, the more they want to believe in the Scarlet King. Way they see it, the Scarlet King's resurrection is their only Throwing all of Sumeru into chaos is the only way to change the way of life here in the desert. Anyway, that's my guess why they've chosen to-
Tia! You're amazing! You really know this place inside and out!
No merc can afford to slack off on gathering intelligence. Every mora I've spent in the tavern has been a valuable investment.
Let's head out.
Now hold on, you're staying right here, Sino.
Why?
Aru Village is not a big place. Outsiders stand out here like a sore thumb. I'd bet word about you is all- The desert is unforgiving, so the way of life here is also a lot tougher than on the outside of the wall. Compared to you, mercs like me are just third-rate amateurs. I've got no actual fighting skills to speak of. But that also makes it... I need to go around and ask some questions. But it'll be difficult if you're with...
Fine.
Good. Then we've got a plan. The Traveler and Paimon will go to Caravan Rebat with me, and we'll try our best to figure out where the mad scholars have been taken. Sino, you...
All right! Sounds like a plan!
Куда съебался, сука?
Well, here we are again!
Sounds like you're starting to get familiar with the area.
Paimon's amazed every time we see the wall of Samiel. How can a wall this tall...
I know what you mean. I had the same question every time I walked this. Also, why is this high wall here? And can a wall really block sandstorms? It was only after I grew up that I realized the wall of Samiel isn't just there to keep out the sandstorms. It serves a more important... Sumeru is run by wise and mighty sages. To them, us desert dwellers are nothing but tools that can be used and discarded at their whim. We're cheap labor, like livestock, but easier to control. Even if a child from the desert got the chance to obtain an Akasha terminal, almost all their requests for knowledge would be denied. The academia, geniuses like Sataria are 1 in a million. The other children never get a single chance to try and rewrite their fate.
That's terrible!
I would tear down this wall with my own hands if I could.
Hey, Tia. You're not thinking...
No, not at all. This place... Besides, we're here to procure information, aren't we?
Yep! We gotta catch those...
Shh. Caravan Rebat is crawling with people. so be careful what you say. We don't want any. Our mission started the moment we arrived here. Let's go check out the tavern. Maybe we'll find someone I know. Just our luck. None of them are here today.
You mean you don't see anyone you know?
Dia, is that you? What a coincidence.
Zaki. Finally, a friendly fate.
Oh, and who do you have with you here? Guests from another land? Hello, hello. I'm Zaki. Dia's, how would you put it?
We've had drinks together a few times. You could say we go back. Anyway, as far as my friends here, they aren't too shabby, are they? You rarely see any Outlanders so friendly and...
Absolutely. Much better than those people on the other side of the wall.
Yeah. Have you seen Edgar, Delavar, or Jabari recently?
Of course I have. Matter of fact, we were all here drinking.
I've got a spice trading deal from another nation. I thought maybe Delavar and his friends might be interested. Know where I could find him?
Ah, how thoughtful of you. Then I assume you also know that Delavar's been having a hard...
Hey, keep it down. Let's just say I prefer to keep this deal a secret. Y'all at Caravan Rebot are like family. If there's more to be made, why not do it together? Besides...
Yes, how considerate of you. Delavar's my friend too, so...
Пешком. Не люк, не надо. Не думай это. Пешком так пешком. А, у них палатка есть. Ну что, здесь кто-то есть? Или они все убежали?
Are we there yet?
Yep, this is...
This place is practically deserted. What are they doing in a place like this?
Why don't you take a guess? Go on. A while...
Чё они все равно слабы? Что можно не слабо? Давайте.
What's this all about, Zaki?
Come on, Dia. You really think we didn't hear about what you said back in Aru village? The boys have kept a close eye on you from the moment you set foot there. Not only do I know that you're looking for Delavar, I also know that you've teamed up with people from the Academia to look for the missing...
So, you've been watching us from the very beginning?
Uh-oh. Paimon knew leaving Sino behind was a mistake.
And you left the strongest one in the village, didn't you? Who do you think you...
So you and Delavar have been partners all along.
Dia, I guess it's only natural for a traveling mercenary like you to be out of the loop. But you got one thing right. We're all looking forward to an uprising in Sumeru. There's nothing...
If that's the case, then I'm sure Delavar wouldn't miss a second of it.
I'll be honest with you. If it weren't for what you said in the village, your little monologue about the Wall of Samiel would have convinced me that you're one of us.
Delavar. And Edgar, you're here too, huh?
Long time no see, Miss Mercenary. You should have known the traitors are what us followers of the Scarlet King.
Dia, I thought that you, a fellow desert dweller, would understand that the Scarlet King is greater than the Dendro...
Yeah, gee, what a missed opportunity. Adopting radical views and kidnapping innocent scholars, all because of some baseless rumors.
See? There you have it. Mercenaries are just a bunch of faithless scum with only one thing on their minds.
You're not wrong. Mercenaries are driven by Mora, and my faith lies with whoever's paying me. As long as there's a profit to be made...
Enough talking! Get him!
Да, вот такие пиздец хитрёные. Давайте сразу.
Just as I expected. Let's teach him a
Да,
lesson,
давай,
traveler.
начнем с радостью.
Just following
New
orders.
hunting.
Right here. Emerge.
Пока.
Race to the wicked.
Да, давай.
Bring it on.
Это все? Это все.
Impossible. How could you?
So, what do you think about your meticulous network now, Zaki? How did you say it? It's only natural for a traveling mercenary like me to be out of the loop. I'm guessing your informant told you that I'm just an incompetent merc with no real fighting skills, correct? I mean, that is what I said. And of course, you would believe everything he reported. The only thing you know about me is that I'm a mercenary. Even though you heard we went to handle monsters together, you believed that Candace was the only one doing all the real fighting. That so-called Flame Mane is just a fraud. She admitted it herself. She just uses her connections to gain the trust of others. That's what you thought, right?
You lied in the village because you figured that we'd have people watch.
And you were stupid enough to fall for it. I figured as much the first time we drank together. You all thought you were so smart. Okay, that should be all of them.
Whoa! So you've been planning this since we were in Aru?
No task can be done without preparation. I just happened to notice a couple suspicious-looking people while you were out investigating.
Oh, but instead of catching them right away...
Those two who were snooping around were just a couple small fries. If we want to get the real catch, we have to be patient.
Oh! You mean the funny name she mentioned back in Uncle Ampu's house? The wide-eyed butcher...
That's just a bunch of drunk talk. Edgar and Delavar like to talk themselves up when they're drinking. Alcohol has a way of making people share what they really think. So Edgar and Delavar are always rambling in the tap.
What about Zaki?
He's just a numbskull who fell right into our trap. Zaki was probably the best hidden of them all. My initial plan was to find Delavar first, and then try to... That's what you wanted to ask when we were at Uncle Anpu's house, right? Jabari is one of the villagers you talked to. You know, the one who wanted to treat Isak and his grandpa to some food.
Wait, so he's a radical too?
No, he isn't. I just needed to tack on a random villager name to make the eavesdropper think that I was
Wow! What a genius idea!
Ah, you're too kind. It was straight from the usual...
So, that thing you were saying before...
Hmm? About what?
About how mercenaries only care about Mora. And that anyone's a friend as long...
Does that bother you? What makes you so sure?
Dia? Do you dislike the Dendro Archon like the other desert folk?
You two are pretty sharp. No, I don't have anything against the Dendro Archon. I've heard a lot of nice things about the Lesser Lord from Dunyarzad. I can understand her devotion and gratitude. Dunyarzad's just an ordinary person. There's no way a god would be so involved in the lives of everyday people, unless I've begun to realize that the sages are behind everything that's happened recently. The radicals' blind belief in the Scarlet King, making the Dendro Archon out to be an enemy. It's all the Academia's trick, but I see through it all. And unlike them, I can never be hostile towards anyone who's never done any-
Dia...
Anyway, looks like we're done with business here. Traveler, lend me a hand. Let's tie him up and bring him to the village. This should be all of them. I'll let you take it from here.
All right. I'll be in touch.
Candace, do you need any help?
Candace will be okay on her own. I trust her, so she's been guarding Aru village for quite some time now. If anyone is qualified to question the offender...
While I'm questioning them, why don't you pass some time by...
I'll meet you back here tomorrow morning, Traveler. As for these idiots, let's just hope they live to see another day.
Так, до 6 утра. Ну, не знаю, в принципе, думаю, достаточно записали материала. Так что я думаю, в принципе, можно завершить эту серию. Ну, видео. Серию я тут не делаю серию. Они мне под нумерацией, но идут просто серии все. Так что, в принципе, думаю, часик записать и готово. Так что увидимся в следующей серии. Пока-пока.